Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti here. Thursday afternoon, 8 races on tap, and there you see partly cloudy skies up there, but of course we're starting today with a fast main track. Of course, we got the all-weather Tapeta that has been really fun, learning how to handicap on this Tapeta. Esme Mayu on assignment this morning. She'll be joining us later on, but she was kind enough to leave her picks, and she's been very well. So with that said, we have a nice weekend planned for you here. Of course, the Stronach 5 was incredible last week. That'll kick off on Friday, but we'll talk about it as we go on. So today's first race is going to be about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are maiden special weight filly 2-year-olds, and as I mentioned, Ashley put an early pick 5 ticket together. Let's check it out. And she went 3 deep in here with the 4, 7, and 8. I had the same horses on there, Lily Bear, Boo Boo Kitty, and Moon Party. 2 deep in race number 3 with Guaco and I kicking. Looks like tough in there. And she's got 2 deep in race 3 and 4, so a very affordable $36 ticket. And in race 5 today, really nice race. And that's a wide open affair, but she used a couple of horses that I use, one being Brody's Causeway, and also used the number 7 horse, the 4 horse in there, Rough Entry. So we're sort of in agreement today. The first race this afternoon, as I mentioned, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, maiden special weight filly 2-year-olds. We had no scratches or jockey changes in the race. I want to go back and show you the start of the horse I put on top, and that's the number 8 Lily Bear. And we're just going to see this horse at the start, the number 5 horse at Saratoga. And this is the old, almost goes to its knees, and just basically the dance was over right there. Now, that horse is changing barns this afternoon. That was in the Phil Gleaves barn when that horse stumbled up at Saratoga. This is the daughter of Liam's Matt, and she's going to cut back to 5 furlongs and go to the Tapeta today. You saw she lost all chance when she stumbled at the start of a 7 furlong maiden special weight sprint at Saratoga, as I mentioned, while in the Phil Gleaves barn. But her debut wasn't bad at all. So if you put a line through that last race, I think she has a major chance in here. She's 7-2. Safi Joseph Jr., I think he's leading the trainer standings by 1. We'll check that out too later. Is 23% with new additions to the shed row. And he's got this horse firing bullets up at Palmetto. So he looks like he's got this horse going. Trouble at the start last time out. Sitting up there right now at a cool 7-2. The number 7, Boo Boo Kitty, has been favored since we went on the air here. This one is debuting locally after dueling for lead. Got beat ahead against Special Weight Company going 5.5 furlongs. Now, that was on the Presque Isle synthetic surface, so owner-trainer Kevin Rice has Lionel Reyes handling the local debut. So we know this horse can run well on the Tapeta, and that's the 9-5 favoritism right now with the number 8, Lily Bear. You're sort of guessing the one can handle the synthetic today. Then the number 4 horse for me in here, and that's Moon Party. Wheeling back after responding to the surface switch to the Tapeta last time out with a 3rd place finish against Simmerla. That was going 5.5. Gilberto Zerpa is going to have Christian Torres in the saddle today. So for me in race number 1, it's 8, 7, and number 4. I like the 8 today. I think that horse is going to run pretty good. Race number 2 this afternoon. We're on the regular main track, a fast main track. 6 furlongs, claim is 3 and up, $6,250. A field of 6 in here with no scratches or jockey changes. I went with the number 4 horse in here. Is going to be, I believe, the favorite in race number 2, but very early in the wagering, and it's I Kick and a Reclaim by Victor Barboza Jr. Finished second to, well, let's go back and show you. Finished second to a hard-knocking, fast-loaded at this level and distance. We're going to pick it up just before the 8th pole home, and then you see fast-loaded 7-5, and a really nice horse, wins races in bunches, and I Kickin' would not be denied. This one just kept fighting on, but just couldn't reel in the 7-5 favorite in there. Thought it was a pretty good performance. The connections, Victor Barboza Jr. thought enough to go back and reclaim this horse, and they're ready for the return with a 3 furlong bullet over the main track. So got this horse running well, homecoming sort of for number 4, Kicking. The 6, I went in second, and that is Beaster, who's free-falling to the $6,250 level. First race since defeating 50 claimers here during March. Antonio Sano has J.C. Diaz named on this. It's sort of a shaky proposition, Wins for 50 and comes back and is now in for $6,250. I used it, but I'm not totally sold on that horse. But, you got to be in it to win it. It might be a good spot with the drop this afternoon. Then the number 3 horse in your Guaco. This one also from the Victor Barboza Jr. barn steps up to face open competition today at the distance. The barn 31% with new claims. As we mentioned, they do very well. Miguel Vasquez in the saddle again. So this one tried to make it 2 in a row. And we'll see how it handles open competition this afternoon. So race number 2 for me, 4, 6, and number 3. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket for Thursday afternoon.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground by first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Couple of minutes afternoon. Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here. Race number 3 is going to be on the Tapeta with the about distance of 1 mile and 1/16. These are claimers 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. We'll have 7 in the post with the scratch of the number 8 horse in here. Cruzando has been declared out of the race. And as I mentioned, this is where my Rainbow 6 kicks off this afternoon. So let's take a look. We got a $200,000 guarantee. And I did go with the 2 Lord Darnley and the number 7 Exponential, just 2 in that race. 2 again in race number 4 with Cool Star and Papi Bello, who's a son of a Stern, debuting for Jorge Delgado. And then I got some coverage in race number 5. I've got the 7, the 4, and the 2 in that race. Number 11 was the one I had interest in but scratched out. So my top pick actually in that race is the 7 Brody's Causeway. Race number 6, 3 deep in there with Boldness, Cezanne, and Uno Tiger. And then in race number 7, Baron Sesco and Full Disclosure. And in the last, boy, a lot of people are going to be singing Max KO. Was very impressive winning up at Kentucky Downs. I'm going to try and beat it with a couple of horses now, but I did use that horse on the ticket. Now, as I mentioned when we came back, this third race is about the mile and the 16th on the Tapeta for the non-winners of 2 claimers. Scratch the 8. I did go with number 2, Lord Darnley, who's stretching out slightly on the Tapeta. And this one has the tactical speed needed to steal this race from on with the pace. I don't see any other speed in here. So Luca Panici has done some of his best work when he's on the lone speed in the race. I don't know if any horse is going to go up and challenge this one early, but if you just cruise to the past performances like I did, this horse looks to have a tactical advantage to me in this particular race. And, when the Tapeta first started, you sort of had to have a star closer, but front runners have been winning, and I just think this horse, if he can get out on a good lead, I believe like 6-1 on the morning line, so getting a little bit of a price in here with the number 2, Lord Darnley, and certainly a speed play for me. The number 7, Exponential, is stretching out to the mile in the 16th, the about distance, and dropping to this 12-5 level today after closing strongly. Finished third in that race, was beaten a half length against those 20 claimers, going that about mile and 70 yards. He's the one that'll be there to pick up the pieces, especially if the top choice, Lord Darnley, fails to negotiate the distance this afternoon or gets hounded early and doesn't have anything left for the stretch drive. And then the number 4 horse in here, Not So Easy, is another stretching out to the about 8.5 furlong distance, closed to be second, beating the neck against similar, going a mile and 70 yards. We got a stat on trainer Kathleen O'Connick with her synthetic runners over the past year. She's 3 for 9, 33%. She's in the money 56% of the time, and 151 is the return of investment. So just starting out with these statistics on the Tapeta, and you knew Kathleen would be very good, and that is not so easy. But I'm going to go with that speed play with the number 2, Lord Darnley. In race number 4 is where the final pick 5 of the afternoon starts. And this race 4 here is a 1 mile maiden claimer. These are 2-year-olds, 12-5. And we did have a couple of scratches in here of the 2 and the 6. So just 3 selections for me. Starting it off with the number 7, Cool Star, who continues his slide down the claiming ranks after responding to the drop down from special weight to the $25,000 level with an improved third place finish at the distance. Safi Joseph Jr., Edgar Zayas handling the drop way down to the 12-5 level, and Safi usually spots them where they can run well. So Edgar Zayas certainly adds to the appeal on the big drop. Then you got the number 4, Papi Bello, who's the son of Stern, debuting for Jorge Delgado. Well, they got a stat on Jorge with his 2-year-old first-time starters, maiden claimers in here, and he is pretty solid over the last few years. 5 for 12. 42%, I should say, pretty solid is right. In the money 58% of the time, and a nice positive return of investment of $2.71. So you're playing the stats, boy, that's a horse you got to use on your ticket. And I also threw in the number 5, Singing Through the Storm, who's dropping a level and stretching out to this 1-turn mile after finishing a distant third. That was against those 16 maidens going 7 furlongs. That was on that sealed sloppy track that afternoon. Herbert Miller, David Baracco up top this recent gelding. So we'll see how the number 5, Singing Through the Storm, runs this afternoon. I think all the money's going to go on Cool Star and Papi Bello. We'll see how that race plays out this afternoon. When we go to race number 5, it'll kick off our final pick 4 of the day, a Thursday afternoon. A beautiful day, actually, so far. No rain in sight, so that's good. About 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, maiden claiming filly, 2-year-old, $16,000. Scratched the 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15. And we got, Ashley has her ticket here. She put a late pick 4 ticket. Let's check it out. And she did go with the 2, 4, and 7. Brody's Cause, the 4 Rough Entry, and the 2 Alla Turca. And in race number 6, just too deep in there with Boldness and Uno Tiger. In race number 7, I think Baron Sesco is going to be the one to beat in there, but she used Full Disclosure and the 4 Tricky Tracky, and a single in the last. As I mentioned, a lot of people will be doing that today with Max KO. It was just very impressive up there at Kentucky Downs. But going from the turf to the Tapeta this afternoon, that's why I added a couple other horses on my Rainbow Six ticket. But you can't go wrong, at least when it's a nice $9 ticket for singling a horse like that. Getting back to this 5th race, as I mentioned, about 5 on the Tapeta for these fillies. And Brody's Causeway caught my attention. He's dropping to the 16 level, which I like this afternoon, and turning back to 5 furlongs after a so-so 6th against those 35 maidens going a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. Mark Cassie going in today is 5 for 15, 33% on the Tapeta surface, and he's 19% with the turn back angle, and he's got Christian Torres in the saddle this afternoon. So I thought that with all those statistics, maybe this horse would run well. But then you got the number 4 Rough Entry, who's also dropping to the 16 level for trainer Steve Dye. Pair of 3rd place finishes on the dirt against $35,000 claimers. So you would think just on the drop, if this horse can run on the Tapeta, is probably going to take all the money in there. And then the 2 Alla Turca, who's debuting on the Tapeta and going to wear blinkers today after, I thought, a hard-trying outing against those 12-5 claimers going 6 on the dirt for trainer Murat Sankal. Lionel Reyes, who I love the way he rides, so maybe he can come in and grab a share in here. Alla Turca 5-1 on the board, but with the scratching 11 in here, it was a major player, I thought, and the 10, that maybe this, the odds are certainly going to change this afternoon in race number 5. We'll go to race number 6 today, and we'll go back on the main track. And this is a 1 mile claimer, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 in life, $20,000 down to $16,000. And I went with I think the morning line favorite. Yes, 5-2 on the morning line, and that is the 6 Boldness, who's stretching out to the mile after setting the pace and finishing second behind a really much the best winner that day called Wandering West. That was going 7 furlongs. But David Fawkes, he has been on fire. He's the king of the Tapeta, but he's also doing well on the main track. He's 9 for 21, 43% win average in so far at this fall meeting, and he's got Chantal Sutherland in the saddle again. So certainly a David's Barn has just been going great guns. What about the inside horse, number 1, Cezanne? This one beating the nose when claimed by Carlos David. 3 starts back, drops after taking the overland route when finishing a wide 7th again, last out against those 35 starter optional claimers going a mile. This horse ran well in that spot, 3 starts back, and I just think that's where this horse belongs. 2016 claimers, and of course Carlos David always been winning races in bunches all spring, summer, and now fall. So that is why I use that horse. And then Uno Tiger to 3. Stretching out to the 8 furlongs today, the 1-turn mile, after dueling through the lane and finishing 3rd, a half length behind Boldness last time out. It's a previous winner at the distance, and if you like Boldness, you got to have Uno Tiger somewhere on the ticket. I split it with Cezanne just because the connections have been going so well. So 6, 1, and 3 for me in race number 7. 6, excuse me. This is race number 7. It's about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta allowance optional claimer for 2-year-olds. Optional claiming price $75,000. Feature race, scratch the number 6 Concrete Glory, which was my long shot today, but we'll have to wait for another day. So I just moved up Baron Sesko, who's switching to the Tapeta after rallying to finish 3rd behind a really nice horse called Last Leaf. Well, let's go back and show you. We're going to pick this up. This was in the Hollywood Beach, and really a nice performance by Last Leaf and Baron Sesko. So here you see the number 3 Baron Sesko. Had to take sort of, go out a little bit here. And, of course, Last Leaf was the 2-1 favorite in there. And you just watch this horse through the lane, the 3 horse in here, Baron Sesko, and just keeps running. I really like the way this horse finished up there. And Last Leaf, that was its 2nd consecutive victory. Boy, and this is a 3-horse blanket finish, and Last Leaf just held on to win it. So off that performance, very good. We'll see how this horse runs this afternoon. Antonio Sano has 6 for 27, 22% on the Tapeta, so he's been doing well on the Tapeta. He's got Edgar Zayas handling the surface switch. The number 3 horse in here, Full Disclosure, listed as a gelding today, is stepping up to face winners after the driving maiden special weight store going 5.5 furlongs. That was on the main track for Mike Yates, and we found the stat on trainer Mike Yates with his 2-year-old maiden winner last time out over the last 3 years. He's 4 for 15, 27%. He's in the money 67% of the time, and the ROI is $3.01. So certainly nice statistics, and Mike just does a fantastic job, and he certainly does a fantastic job with all the progeny of Cajun Breeze. He's gotten them to win going long on the Tapeta, going short on the main track. So certainly we got to look at that horse. Then you got the 4, Tricky Tracky, who's stepping up today to face winners on the Tapeta. First starts, he defeated those state-bred maiden special weight runners back in August. Actually defeated a pair of next out winners in that race for Gilberto Zerpa. Emiciel Jaramillo will be in the saddle this afternoon. Really nice racing. It's going to be interesting to see. Baron Sesko looks like this horse has a touch of class, and he might run very well on the Tapeta this afternoon, and that is in race number 7. Our final race on the card today, 8th race, is another nice race on the Tapeta. It's about 1.70 miles. It's a starter allowance for 3-year-olds and up, started for 25 or less, or the tag of $25,000. And, you could go a couple of ways. Well, by the way, there was a scratch of Croy, who I thought might be a long shot play in there, and the number 10, Small Hope. But Max KO is back here locally and moving to Tapeta. We're going to go show you that race up at Kentucky Downs. We're going to pick it up at the top of the stretch, which is hard to figure out at Kentucky Downs. I never know where the stretch is. But Max KO, very impressive, winning for Safi Joseph Jr. Safi only 3 for 22 so far on the Tapeta for 14 cents. But I just thought Max KO, there was some nice horses in this race, and just took command here in the stretch and drew up to win it impressively. Edgar Zayas is going to handle the surface switch this afternoon. Just a really good performance. Tyler Gaffalione, I believe. I think it was Irad Ortiz was in the saddle that afternoon. The number 5, Louder Than Bombs, is stepping up the competition and switching surfaces today after holding on gamely to defeat those 20 claimers going a mile on the turf. As I mentioned, David Forks, he's the king of the Tapeta so far. He's 7 for 12. That's 58% on this new surface. So I talked to him the other day, said, what's the secret? And he said, you just got to have a fit horse, and certainly all his David's horse run exceptionally well on the Tapeta. And the number 7, Go Mike, solid in defeat when rallying on the Tapeta to finish second against those 25 starter allowance. That was going this distance. Herbert Miller, Angel Arroyo up there. So maybe that horse has run good enough to be a major player in here. They all got to have their running shoes on to beat Max KO. But maybe if I can get the 5 or 7 in, my Rainbow Six ticket, if I get this far, would pay handsomely, because I can't blame anybody that singles the 2 Max KO on their ticket after that nice performance up at Kentucky Downs. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have our lightning round, Thursday lightning round.
Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances. Access the most trusted information in horse racing, including exclusive buyer speed figures and DRF analysis and selections. Experience the new mobile optimized DRF pass performances on your phone from anywhere at any time. Go to drf.com/now. Use coupon code NOW to get a free single card and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
And welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, Ron, the Lone Ranger Nicoletti here this afternoon, getting through this card. But we got through the card. I thought we had a couple of nice selections in there. We'll see how it plays out. But let's check out the lightning round right now. And as we do each and every Thursday, we started off with the leading jockeys. Boy, Sammy Camacho has just been riding great. But Miguel Vasquez right there in second. And you can see it's very early in the meeting to show these standings. But it's fun watching the jockeys. Sammy's just been riding great. Miguel, too. And, you know, Edgard went away for a weekend, but he came back. He's right there. And there's the usual top 5. But look how good Leonel Reyes is doing. He flies under the radar, but he's got 13 victories. So, and let's check out the trainers now. And Safi took that jump ahead. He got ahead of David Forks, 10-9, just over this weekend. Safi had a really bunch of nice winners, horses that ran up at Saratoga and came down here and ran exceptionally well. Antonio Sano with 8, Jorge Delgado with 7, and Kathleen O'Connor with 5. So Safi just one ahead of the red-hot David Forks Bond. Boy, we got a great program now, or I should say free PPs here, Equibase pass performances at all the first bet properties available on xbtv.com. So you got no excuse now. You just go on and you see all the tracks. You just go and get the PPs, and they're absolutely free. Along with Equibase, we're partnered with them to give you free PPs for all the Stronach properties, and that is kicking off. That's a really nice thing. We had a really nice horse here win, a Diamond Wow, who went up to Kentucky and just, Keeneland, and just got beat in the Grade 2 Jessamine Stakes, and she is going to be in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, and there you see the field, and, it's just going to be a great race. This is just the pre-entries, but Diamond Wow, of course, trained by Patrick Beam Cohn. We got a big route on Breeders' Cup Friday, this is. So Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. And don't forget, you can bet all the Breeders' Cup races for Friday and Saturday on Friday right here at Gulfstream Park. And once again, we got another edition of the Stronach 5, and that is going to kick off tomorrow. And there you see the sequence. 2 from Laurel, 1 from Santa Anita, Gulfstream Park, Will Leg D, and then Golden Gate Fields. 12% takeout, as Pete Aiello says, Overlay City. So that's it. We got about 30 minutes before the first race. So pretty soon Pete Aiello will be up to give you all the scratches and changes you need, and want you to have a winning day here at Gulfstream Park.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round off her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.